Hey gang, John Bacarella here with your Lake St. Clair Fishing Report, brought to you by Sportsmen's Direct. It is Thursday, December 16th. I almost said October 16th. I don't know where that came from, but it is December 16th. Maybe it's because of the weather out there, because the weather right now is maybe like September 16th kind of weather, or it's at least October weather. It's like 60 stinking degrees outside, and we got another 40, 50 plus mile an hour wind going, and it's trashing the lake, and I feel sorry for anybody up on that northeast corner of the lake, because it's just getting pounded. And I mean, what can I say? But the backside of this, so starting on Saturday, we're actually going to start getting some more seasonable, probably a little bit below normal temperatures. Not much, but just a tad below normal. And we can start making some canal ice. And it looks like from Saturday going forward through Christmas and into the New Year's, it looks like the weather pattern is going to stabilize, and we're going to lock in to some at least ice holding or ice making temperatures. At night we're going to go below freezing, and pretty much every time we've done that so far this year, the canals have locked up. So as long as we don't get any more of this crazy stuff, I think we're on track to be on the canals probably just after Christmas, probably that week after Christmas into the canals. And then we'll see what happens for Main Lake, because we got to have more than just temperatures. We got to have the winds to behave themselves at the right time to lock the lakes up. Now, I did call up to Houghton Lake today and up to talk to Steve at Lyman's, and they lost all the ice. So they were on the ice, and then they lost the ice, which, I mean, go figure. They had rain and they had wind just like we had down here. Actually, they got more rain than we did. So they are starting over. And they're going to be probably on the same timetable as we are for making lake ice as what we are for making canal ice down here. So that's the deal with the northern ice conditions. I know you can find ice if you go to the UP, but I mean, I don't know how many of you guys are going to want to drive all the way to UP to find ice. So down here right now, our water temp is sitting at right around 39-ish to 40 degrees. And it's bumped up a little bit, which isn't hard to believe since we've had like these high winds and 60-degree temps, so that surface temp is definitely going to warm up a little bit. Doesn't really factor in too much to making ice going forward, but just thought I'd mention it. 40 degrees. Now, most of the guys are done out on the big water, out on the main lake. Even the charter captains. I know Jason Quintano, Fins and Grins Charters, I think his last outing was this week. And they had a good one. I mean, they got some monster fish. This is like the year of the giant tiger muskie out here on Lake St. Clair. We've seen more monster tiger muskies this year than I think we've ever seen, that I can remember anyways. Quality of fish has been amazing. And I know Jason finished up the season. It sounded like they had a monster on and lost it, and then they landed another monster. So great season for all the muskie charters and all the muskie fishermen out here on the lake. And like I said, just some magnificent tiger muskie specimens taken this year. One of the other things going on right now, and it's still been going on, I keep reporting that it's the opposite end of the spectrum, is the panfish bite in some of the canals has still been really good. And I know some of the canals have been dead, but yet some of the canals have been really good. And if you kind of followed my lead on what I was talking about in the last report, fishing those dead end canals, I think you'll find that that's still going to be your best bet, especially with what's going on out there right now with all the wind and everything. Fishing those dead end canals is also easier on the body, because those dead end canals, normally you can shelter yourself a little bit from the wind. But I know today they were taking limits again back behind the store at Selfridge. Spencer was back there even today on his day off, and he got a nice mess of gills, some good eating fish. Not like giant fish, but just really good, solid eating size bluegills. Guys are still buying cranks and boards, and I know you walleye guys are still going to keep going out every chance you get until things ice up to the point that you can't fish anymore. That south end of the lake is still producing fish, and it still will right up until we ice up. But I think for most guys, this isn't most guys aren't going to put their boats in this time of the year. It's kind of harsh out there. I get asked, we've been asked a few times about where do I get like my weather information, where do I get my satellite images, and so I just wanted to give you a quick kind of rundown on that. And so our satellite images, hopefully we can post the link up in the top corner here of the video, but I think it's a GLIS site, and you have to go through and you click and the different parts of the country pop up, and then you click on them, and then you can zoom in and slowly work your way down to the actual website. It's like a Coastal Watch site. I think you can find it by Googling Coastal Watch too. But that's where I usually get my satellite images. You don't always get good images. Like this week we couldn't get squat for an image because it was all cloudy whenever that satellite passed over for that exact time when it takes that picture. One of the other things I use a lot is I use an app on my phone called My Radar. And I don't know if it's available for all phones. I've got my phone's Apple product, but I use that My Radar on my phone and on my iPad probably more than anything else because it gives me wind vectors, it gives me all the fronts. I can scroll up and I can look all the way up into Canada. I can see if there's cold air pooling up there, and I'm kind of a meteorology buff, so I can kind of figure out whether or not I agree with what everybody's talking about. The other thing I do as far as looking for long-term forecasting, like I do now for the wintertime, so how can I say that I think we're gonna stay cold? I monitor 3 different weather sites. I monitor Weather Underground, I watch, it's like a Weather Channel site, and there's a third one, I think it's weather.com or something, but it doesn't really matter which ones, but the point is I monitor 3 of them, and the one I like the best is the Weather Underground, but I like to look at 3 different sites because they all have a little different political bent. Like some of them always tend to go a little bit warmer and some always tend to go a little bit colder, if you can believe that, right? The political bent for weather channels, or weather sites, but they really do. And what I usually look at as I go out to the 10-day forecast, I go out to the 30-day forecast if they have it, and I watch what happens on like day 10 and day 11 in the forecast. Sometimes I'll even write it down and make a note of it, and then I come back and I see, did they lock in on that temperature, or did they pull it back, or did they warm it up? And when I get all 3 of those sites kind of in agreement, especially on if they start pulling it back and making it a colder and colder forecast like they are right now, even if it's only a couple of degrees, then I'm pretty confident that all the sites are in agreement that that's what's going to happen with the weather pattern. That's not always the case though. Sometimes you see them very, very different, especially after that day, around that day 10 forecast. And a lot of them will revert back to just a seasonal average on that day 10. So you kind of got to watch it to see what they're doing. So sometimes I'll go back too and I'll look and see what the historical average is for that date and see if that's what they're actually posting up there, or are they giving us a sincere forecast and not taking the lazy way out and just putting a seasonal average up there. So that's the way I look at the weather. But that myradar.com for like current information, especially wind directions and stuff, and maybe wind shift lines that might be coming in, to me, that's like the most valuable information I get on a day-to-day basis for, where I'm gonna go and all that kind of good stuff for you guys going out with the boats all the time. And in the winter time too, it's a huge value fishing this big water, as far as if the lake's not completely frozen, which it very rarely is, as far as what's the chance of that ice blowing out in a certain area, because you can literally see the wind direction relative to the shoreline, so you can get a good idea of whether or not the wind's blowing in or parallel or on a slight angle. So anyways, that's my spiel on all the weather stuff, but you guys have asked me about it, so I thought I'd just take a few minutes and explain that to you. And weather's important to us as outdoor people, so in all of our comings and goings outdoors. So don't know if I'll be able to do a video next week, probably not. So if things do start to lock up, I'll be posting on our Facebook page, shooting maybe little quick videos or just posting some pictures and some descriptions of what's going on out there. And just have a great Christmas. And I'm sure we'll be talking in the new year, and you'll be able to see us on the channel or in the store between now and January 1. Hey, if you like this video content and you want to get updated as soon as the next video is out there, hit that subscribe button and the little bell icon, and you'll get notified as soon as the next video is up.